Wow, some days the news cycle just hits you like a ton of bricks, you know? Today was one of those days.
Yeah, I feel
You
you.
glance at the headlines and it's like, whoa, where do I even begin? A major earthquake rocking Southeast Asia, Bank of America dropping some warnings that could affect a lot of people's accounts. And then, just to keep things interesting, Elon Musk shaking up the tech world with another big acquisition. It's almost too much to process at once.
Absolutely. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when so many impactful events are happening simultaneously.
That's exactly why we do these deep dives. We want to help make sense of it all. We're not just going to rehash the headlines, but really dig into what's important and break it down so you can understand the implications without getting lost in the noise.
Precisely. It's about providing context and clarity,
Mm.
especially when the news can feel so fragmented.
Right. So, today we're going to tackle those three seemingly unconnected stories. First, we'll unpack that devastating earthquake in Myanmar and Thailand. We'll look at the details of what happened, the immediate impact, and what the ongoing response looks like.
Right? The closer look at the human toll of this disaster is certainly warranted.
Absolutely. Then we'll shift gears and talk about Bank of America's warnings about inactive accounts. We'll explain what's behind it and, most importantly, what you can do to make sure your accounts are safe.
Practical advice that could save people a lot of trouble down the line.
Exactly. And finally, we'll dive into Elon Musk's latest move, his XAI company acquiring X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. We'll unpack the details of that deal and explore some of the potential ripple effects it could have on the future of social media and AI.
A deal that's generating a lot of buzz and speculation.
Definitely. So, ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, first up, the earthquake. This one's really heartbreaking. We're talking about a 7.7 magnitude earthquake, which is incredibly powerful. It hit Myanmar, and the tremors were felt even as far away as Bangkok, Thailand, causing significant damage there as well.
A 7.7 magnitude earthquake is indeed a major seismic event. It's the kind of earthquake that can cause widespread structural damage and has the potential to reshape landscapes. The energy released is immense, and the impact can extend far beyond the immediate epicenter.
And sadly, the human cost is already devastating. As of today, March 29th, 2025, the reported death toll in Myanmar is over 1,600. Thousands more are injured. The epicenter was near Mandalay, and that region seems to have been hit the hardest. The pictures and reports coming out of there are just... It's hard to even imagine the scale of the destruction and the suffering people are going through.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that beyond the tragic loss of life, there are thousands of people displaced from their homes, struggling to access basic necessities like food, water, and shelter. The healthcare system is likely overwhelmed, and the logistical challenges of getting aid to those who need it are enormous, especially in a region that's already facing significant challenges.
And it's not just Myanmar. The tremors from the earthquake were strong enough to cause damage in Thailand, too. We heard about that construction site collapse in Bangkok, which, tragically, resulted in fatalities and people still missing.
Right. Even though Bangkok is farther from the epicenter, the energy released by a 7.7 magnitude earthquake can travel vast distances. Structures that aren't built to withstand such strong shaking can be particularly vulnerable, and construction sites, depending on their stage and the type of construction, can be especially susceptible to collapse during an earthquake.
It's a sobering reminder that the impacts of natural disasters can be far-reaching and unpredictable. It's a bit of good news, though, to hear that rescue efforts are already underway in both countries and international aid is starting to arrive. It shows that in times of crisis, people are willing to come together and help.
Absolutely. International aid is crucial in these situations, providing essential resources and expertise to support local rescue and relief efforts. However, it's important to recognize that the road to recovery after a disaster of this magnitude is long and complex. The immediate needs are overwhelming, but even once the initial crisis subsides, the process of rebuilding infrastructure, homes, and livelihoods will take years and require a sustained commitment from both the affected communities and the international community.
It's a stark reminder of the power of nature and the importance of being prepared. Okay, let's move on to something that might hit a little closer to home for some of our listeners. Bank of America's warning about the potential closure of inactive accounts.
This is one of those things that might seem like a minor annoyance, but it can actually have significant consequences if you're not aware of it.
Exactly. So, Bank of America has stated that accounts that have been inactive for 3 years could be closed. 3 years seems like a long time, but I bet a lot of people out there have, like, an old savings account or something they haven't touched in a while.
You'd be surprised how common it is. People open accounts, life gets busy, and they simply forget about them. And 3 years can pass quite quickly, especially when you're not actively managing those accounts.
So what kinds of accounts are we talking about here? Is it just checking accounts, or does this apply to other types of financial products as well?
It's actually a pretty wide range of account types. We're talking checking accounts, savings accounts, individual retirement accounts, IRAs, certificates of deposit, CDs, even safe deposit boxes. And you know what else they mentioned? Uncashed cashier's checks. Those can be forgotten about and end up falling under this inactive account policy.
Wow, uncashed cashier's checks. That's definitely something people might overlook. So what does Bank of America recommend people do to avoid having their accounts closed?
They've given some pretty straightforward advice, luckily. The easiest thing is to simply log into your online banking or mobile app regularly. Even just checking your balance counts as activity.
So we're not talking about having to move money around or anything complicated.
Nope. Just a quick login every now and then should be enough to keep your account active. Of course, making even small transactions, like transferring a few dollars between your accounts or making a small purchase with your debit card, also helps.
Makes sense. Anything else people can do?
Setting up direct deposits or recurring payments is another good way to ensure consistent activity. And enabling account alerts is a good idea in general. It keeps you informed about your account activity and might even alert you if your account is nearing inactive status.
So basically, the more you engage with your account, even in small ways, the better. What happens if someone definitely sounds like something worth avoiding if possible? Thanks for clarifying all that. Now let's move on to our final headline for today. Elon Musk and his AI company, XAI, acquiring X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. This one feels like a major shakeup in the tech world.
It definitely has the potential to be. We're talking about the merger of a cutting-edge AI company with a massive social media platform that has hundreds of millions of users. The deal itself is an all-stock transaction valued at a whopping $45 billion.
$45 billion just in stock. And the reports are saying the combined valuation of this new entity could be around $80 billion. That's a huge investment in the future. So for those who might not be familiar with all the financial jargon, what exactly does an all-stock transaction mean?
It means that instead of XAI paying cash to acquire X, they're essentially exchanging ownership. The shareholders of X will receive shares in the newly combined company. So it's a merger of ownership rather than a direct cash purchase.
Interesting. Musk himself has said that the futures of XAI and X are intertwined. That suggests he's planning a pretty deep integration of the two companies. What's the reasoning behind merging an AI company with a social media giant like X?
The potential synergy is huge. XAI has cutting-edge AI technology, and X has a massive user base and a ton of data generated by those users. We're talking over 600 million active users. By combining the two, they can leverage XAI's AI capabilities to analyze that data and create more sophisticated and personalized user experiences on X.
So we could see AI influencing everything from how content is recommended to how we interact with each other on the platform.
Absolutely. Imagine more sophisticated content filtering, personalized news feeds that actually align with your interests, or even AI-powered tools that could help facilitate more meaningful conversations and connections. The possibilities are pretty expansive.
It's interesting to consider that XAI is still a relatively new company. It was launched in 2023, but it's already attracted a lot of investment, something like $6 billion in funding. Now, with this acquisition, they have immediate access to a massive platform and a huge user base.
Exactly. This acquisition gives XAI a real-world testing ground and a distribution channel for their AI technology. Instead of having to build a user base from scratch, they instantly gain access to hundreds of millions of users. It's a shortcut to large-scale implementation and a way to rapidly test and refine their AI models in a real-world environment.
It feels like this deal could be a turning point, not just for these two companies, but for the future of social media and the role AI plays in our lives.
It's definitely a development worth watching closely. It raises important questions about how we interact online, how information is disseminated and consumed, and the ethical considerations surrounding the increasing integration of AI into our digital lives. It's a topic that deserves a lot more discussion and scrutiny.
Well, there you have it. In one news cycle, we've covered a devastating natural disaster, some important personal finance advice, and a potentially game-changing move in the tech world. It's been quite a journey.
A lot to process, for sure.
Mm.
Hopefully this deep dive has helped to clarify things and give you a better understanding of what's at stake in each of these events.
Exactly. From the human tragedy unfolding in Myanmar and Thailand, to the practical steps you can take to protect your own finances, to the potential ripple effects of this tech merger, it's all connected in some way. Staying informed is crucial for navigating our increasingly complex world.
It empowers us to see the connections and understand the forces shaping our lives.
So, as you go about your day, think about this. With AI becoming more integrated into platforms like X, how might that change how we consume and interact with information online, and what responsibilities come with that shift? It's something worth pondering as we move further into this era of rapidly advancing technology.